And how are you feeling? Oh my God, the hearts are already coming in. I'm so excited to see this. I am so, so excited that y'all are here. First of all, I want to say give yourself a props because some props, because what ends up happening is a lot of people will sign up for these events and then they will tap out. They'll show up day one, they'll show up day two, they might do the homework, they might not. But the majority of people don't commit to themselves and they don't show up for 5 days. And the thing is, if you can't show up for yourself for 5 days, like you honestly can't be surprised at why your life isn't changing, right? Because in order for you to build the momentum to actually change your life, you need to be showing up for yourself. You need to be doing the work. And all of you here, period. Yes. All of you here, you've been showing up every single day. Whether you were live or not, I've seen you. You've been in my comments. You've been reaching out to me. You've been DMing me. You have been making me know that you are showing up and doing the work. And I'm so proud of you. Like, honestly, there's so many times that people sign up for something because it's free and they don't value it. I always say 1% of people, when you give something away for free, actually shows up like they paid for it. And I'm going to tell you, the people that build the successful businesses, the people that build the fucking unstoppable mindsets, they are the people that show up. They are the people that when something is given for free, they are like, thank you, God. I might not have the money to show up right now, but I'm going to show up like this is a $10,000 thing. That was something that I started doing probably like 6 years ago. What is time? But around 6 years ago, I was like, I don't give a fuck if I don't have the money to show up for something. If somebody gives me something for free, I am going to thank the universe that this person was so kind and so generous to help me to understand like what I can do without getting into a paid container. And that's why I decided to do these 5 days, because one, everyone's sick like me right now. Two, a lot of people are getting burnt out. It's the end of the year. People are feeling frustrated. The winter has started, so it's cold. We're not getting outside anymore. The holidays get stressful. A lot of people are, still dealing with their money mindset, so they're running out of money, and the holidays add more pressure to buy things. And it's like I could feel collectively, I could just feel it was almost like we were hitting the pause button. It was like we were hitting snooze day in and day out, and it was like, is 2024 here yet? No. Okay, snooze, snooze, snooze. I want you to raise your hand. Were you one of those people that before these 5 days, you were like, I am pretty low on energy right now. I am actually like kind of giving up on 2023. I'm kind of giving up on myself. I'm kind of giving up on like this whole manifestation fucking thing. Like, I've been doing the things, but like I'm not seeing the things. I'm not feeling the things. So I'm kind of just like, I'm kind of over it. A lot of hands. Okay. I get it. And I totally understand what it's like being there. I totally get being in that place where you kind of just want to like scream because you're like, what the fuck? I've been doing the quote unquote things. I've been doing the meditating. I've been doing the visualizing. I've been doing the journaling. I've watched every motherfucker on TikTok who creates a manifestation thing, and I've done their method. And then I went to somebody else's method. I've been reading the books. I've been listening to the podcast, and I don't know. They just make it seem so easy, but like I'm just not sure what I'm missing here. I felt like that for so long on my manifestation journey, and when I'm telling you like the amount of thousands of dollars once I got to the point where I had worked on my money mindset and I could invest, the amount of money I invested into programs and courses and people, the amount of time I've spent learning this and like learning from other people and hiring mentors and whatever it was, and I still was like, what is the disconnect here? Like, what's happening? I'm doing all of the things, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not like experiencing it. And I realized that a lot of people are just regurgitating the same old information that they read from a Neville Goddard book. A lot of people are just regurgitating The Secret. They're regurgitating The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And while, yes, these are powerful teachers and powerful books, at the end of the day, there's something that's missing if collectively we're still not manifesting what we desire. And that's where we're at. A lot of people, like we've seen manifestation blow up, but how many people are actually consistently and consciously manifesting what they desire? How many people are waking up every day really fucking excited to be them, really fucking excited to be living the life that they're living? And that is why I really That's why I really put a lot of intentionality into curating these 5 days. If you guys were here live yesterday, or even if you rewatched the day 4, if you're catching me on TikTok, if you're catching me on YouTube, and this is your first time seeing me, then no worries. Like, hang out for today because you're going to get it. But make sure that you click the link in my bio and you sign up for the free event, because you have access to this until 1/1, so you can catch up and really like go through day 1 and the homework, day 2 and the homework. Really do this, because you're going to see, and a lot of you were commenting and emphasized this to me yesterday, where you said, I get it. Like, I get why you really went in on mindset on day 1. I get why you really went in on emotions on day 2. I get why you went really deep into grounding and connecting on day 3. I get why you are now teaching us how to manifest right now in the moment. Like, drop the fucking excuses, because everything that we have gone over from day 1 to day 3 was you understanding the tangible how. How do I shift my mindset in the moment? How do I shift my emotions in the moment? How do I connect to really trust myself, to trust the universe, to really receive these divine downloads? Like, how do I know when to take the inspired action? And when you understand that every day I've given you a thought-provoking way to really change your perspective on whatever the topic was. And then I gave you a no bullshit, really fucking simple and quick 5-step process. Every day was a 5-step process. So that way you understand what I say, when you can start building momentum today. You can start changing today. Because so many people will watch a program, they'll read a book, they'll whatever it is. And then they're like, okay, well, yeah, on Monday, I'll do something about it. Or, okay, cool, but it's 2 p.m. today, so tomorrow I'll start. And it's like, if you keep telling yourself you're going to do it later, you keep putting your power in a future moment. And fun fact, in the quantum realm, the future doesn't exist. The only moments that exist are right now. And you're manifesting from when? You guys know it by now, because it's said it so many times. So you're manifesting right now. So what matters the most is who you are being right now, what you are thinking right now. What are you speaking about right now? What are you giving your attention to right now? How are you showing up? What are you feeling? How are you moving right now? Yes, we can have the conversation about, there's a lot of healing work that goes on. There's a lot of rewiring work. There's a lot of reprogramming work. There's a lot of recoding work. There's a lot of regulating. And we've had conversations about that. So we're no longer going to use an excuse that I need to heal more, or I need to get further along in my mindset journey before I can manifest, before I can change, before I can show up differently. No, honey. No, 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 no. We've gone through the details, and then we've cut out the noise from the ego. I don't allow you as my client or my student, and I teach you guys like you paid $10,000 to be here. I don't give a fuck if this is free, because I don't gatekeep. I'm not one of those people that tells you a half an hour about my life fucking story, gives you like 10 minutes of like fluff, and then invites you into a paid container. Yes, you can absolutely pay to join my membership and get accesses for a year. You can get group coaching calls with me. You can join our badass community. But if you don't, if you just spend this 5 days with me, I'm so fucking grateful, because you're helping yourself shift and you are helping the collective shift. And as a spiritual teacher, I want and need and desire more of us to just be doing the work, so that way we feel better, so that way we are actually living our most empowered life, so that way we're showing others what it is like to get the fuck out of the matrix, to have a really amazing life, to have a really amazing relationship with yourself, to really be able to show up feeling good. Yes, of course, you'll have emotions and navigate it, but the work here is, how can I consciously be deciding and choosing? Because when you're conscious and when you're deciding and choosing, your entire life can change so fucking quickly. And that's why my clients and students change quickly. You guys know that I am still manifesting health, but today my voice is like going in and out. So just bear with me as I drink my cold tea and my hot tea. But let me check on the chat. Oh, I just clicked on the wrong thing and I'm like, I know I saw things. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of hands coming up. I'm seeing a lot of likes. So this is resonating with you guys. I want you to let me know, have you experienced a shift in these 5 days? How are you feeling after these 5 days? Do you feel what I've been talking about when I've been saying that we're going to be building momentum? it, feel it. That's what I want to know. Are you feeling it right now? Raise your hand, hit some fire emojis, hit the like button, whatever it is. Drop in how you're feeling, but let me know, have you been feeling a shift? Have you been experiencing a shift over these past 5 days? Yes, 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 yes. And you know what I love? Over day 1, day 2, day 3, a lot of you were here live and a lot of you had questions. And then day 4, everyone was like, oh, buckle up. She's not playing around. I had one of you who couldn't make it live and you commented and you were like, I could only make the first 15 minutes. And then I heard you say that you already know how to manifest. And I was like, oh, Alexa's not fucking around today. And so they were like, I'm going to come back. But they received such epic downloads in the first 15 minutes that they paused. And they said that they made more progress towards what they've been working on, and it felt so easy that they were literally shocked. And that's what I was talking about with the divine downloads. So I love to see that you guys are literally showing up for yourselves. You're taking it seriously and you're realizing that at this point, if you have been here every fucking day with me, if you, whether live or not, because I told you guys to commit to yourself that you're doing the work every single day and you've been doing the homework, you have realized that at this point you don't have any questions, because I've gone over the questions and I've gone over the steps, and you might have a question, but if you actually pay attention, because it might not, like, that specific question might not have been answered yet, you realize that Alexa already went over this. And if she didn't like specifically go over this, she covered it, she laid the foundation, and she gave me the fucking 5-step process to do it. So I can pretend like I don't know the answer, but she already told me she's not playing around with that. She doesn't let us play I don't know in her world. And I don't. You don't get to say, I don't know. You do fucking know. Not when it comes to your life and what you're creating anyway. You do fucking know. So we're focusing on what we do know. We're focusing on building the momentum. We're focusing on feeling the shift. Because what happens in manifestation, we feel differently and we think differently and we speak differently and we show up differently. And then our reality changes. And that's what we're really going to be anchoring in today, because today is day 5, self-concept. The question that we're tackling today is, who are you being daily? And this is the thing that when you lock this in, you are going to get it. You're going to understand why so many people talk about self-concept and why that's completely blown up on TikTok, especially over the past year. And here's the thing is, like, a lot of people will talk about self-concept, but they will not give you any details about how to actually apply your self-concept. And here's the thing, because every single day I have told you how to do the work and how to put the pieces together, you're going to fully understand today how to show up differently right now, because you know how to change your mindset. You know how to change your emotions. You know how to not get attached to your circumstances. You know how to connect with source. You know how to connect with yourself. And now you're going to know how to show up differently. Period. I was putting so much pressure on myself, then got sick, and now I'm slowing the fuck down and glowing the fuck up at the same time. Divine timing. And look at that. No excuses. How many of you guys are sick right now and you're like, oh, well, I just won't do anything. I'll just lay on my couch. No excuses. You guys have like witnessed like me. Like, I have been showing up, and like the first day, I'm not even gonna fucking lie to you, I felt like I was hallucinating. I was so goddamn sick the first day that I felt like I was hallucinating. What I intended to say that day, I did not say, because like I couldn't even, I have notes that I normally don't like read off of, but like I can go through. I couldn't even like focus on the notes. I was that fucking sick and I still showed up for you guys. I didn't postpone this because this is the last day, like before the holidays really start popping off. And it's like, we're doing the damn thing. I don't care if you're sick right now. I don't care what's been going on in your world, because that's just an excuse, and your ego will know if she gets sick, then I won't have to do this. I won't have to keep showing up for myself. We're not going there. We are not going there. And the thing is don't put pressure on yourself. You have to have grace with yourself. And if you're putting pressure on yourself, like I talked about, whatever day I talked about it, I'm too sick and time is already an illusion. So whatever day, I'm trying to like get this so my head is like not in that light. So whatever day I talked about it, if you put pressure on yourself, maybe I didn't talk about it. Anyway, if you put pressure on yourself right now in this moment, then what's happening? You are contracting energetically, and you are actually lowering your vibration. You are lowering your energetic capacity to hold. You are no longer energetically aligning with your desires. And you're now putting pressure in this moment right now on a future moment that doesn't fucking exist. And the only way you're going to manifest what you desire in this moment is by not putting pressure on yourself. So you have to release the pressure, because pressure will always create resistance. And resistance is always going to make it so your manifestation is up here and you're down here. And that's why it's never locking in, because you're out of alignment with it. So you've got to release the pressure. I know that society puts a lot of pressure on us, but just because society puts pressure on you doesn't mean you have to put pressure on yourself. So I want you to, like, today, put a declaration and give yourself a permission slip that you're no longer ever putting pressure on yourself, because it doesn't actually get you closer to your desires. It actually makes you feel worse and makes you get more frantic and then start freaking out about a timeline that you fucking created, because time is an illusion, right? The homework slaps. I truly appreciate it. I love that so much. I just love that so much. I truly appreciate it. Yeah. So the homework is, like I told you guys, no bullshit. And I'm not just like leaving you hanging to write these 5 steps. Every day there's been homework for you to like really get in check with like how this is affecting you and how you're showing up in this area. And then it's like, oh, and here's the reminder of how quickly you can do it. And these are the steps. Remember, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. When you do these 5 steps, you know how to change your mindset in the moment. When you do these 5 steps, you know how to change your emotions in the moment. And you're also healing your emotions and releasing any emotions that aren't serving you. And when you do the 5 steps, you know how to connect, you know how to ground, you know how to really tune into the present moment, because when are you conscious? In this moment. And you have to be present in order to be conscious, and in order to be consciously creating your dream life, you've got to be here in this moment right now, breathing into this moment as the version of you that you desire to be, with the energy that you desire to have, with the mindset that you desire to have. You need to be showing up right now, no matter what, no matter what's manifesting, no matter what's going on, because the only way you're going to break out of that cycle where it's like a catch 22, doesn't matter what you do, you're always getting similar results. You've got to show up differently, because who's the common denominator in your life and in manifestation? You. So you've got to change. And that means you've got to stop using excuses to say, I'll change when. No, no, you're changing now. You're changing now. And not like I need you to be a whole new shiny fucking human, but like there are things about you where you have been holding yourself back. There are beliefs that you have that are no longer serving you. There are feelings that you're playing into for way too fucking long and not processing. There are way too many days where you're not connecting with yourself. There are way too many days when you're not connecting with the universe. So therefore, of course, you don't trust the universe. Of course, you aren't receiving the downloads. There's too many days where you're focusing on and feeling into what you don't want, and then getting yourself so caught up in that, and then getting attached to the circumstances. But I plan to be a shiny human. I love that. And you are. I'm not teaching you to be a completely different human. I'm teaching you to be, as I call it in the self-concept master course, I'm teaching you to be you 2.0, which is a shiny, fucking happy, confident, abundant, unstoppable human. Like that's where we're at. And this is just like you turning the dial up on you. Turn your authenticity up, turn your confidence up, turn your wealth up, turn your health up, turn your energy up, turn it the fuck up. Because like when you get off the Richter scale, there's no way your reality isn't going to change quickly, because you are literally not even the same person that you were. And here's the deal, is that's what these 5 days were. If you've been showing up every day, if you've been committing to yourself, if you've been doing the fucking work, if you've been listening to the programs, even better, like bonus points if you've been re-listening to them, like while you're driving, while you're cleaning your house, whatever that is, you are gonna be like, by the end of this class today, you're gonna be like, holy fuck, I actually don't even feel like the person that I was when 12 p.m. Monday was. Like, I don't even, or whatever time it was for you, but like, I don't even feel like that version of me that I was. I literally feel so fucking different. And this is the work. Because remember, your manifestation is going to be the last thing that manifests materially. You're going to feel it and you're going to see it first. For sure, being super conscious about my thoughts all day and switching them. Oh my God, I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. Okay. So we are gonna dive right in like we do every single day. So today is about your self concept. So, who are you being? Hold on, let me take it before we dive back in. So, self concept. This is a conversation that if you're on manifestation talk, like you've heard it so many times, but how many people are like just blowing fluff in your face and you're like, what the fuck does self concept even mean? Raise your hand if you're like, I get that my self concept is important, but I don't fully fucking understand what my self concept is. I don't fully understand like how to change it. I need a little more information. I hear y'all, but like, could we go a little deeper in this? Okay, seeing hands, seeing hands. So the place where I see the disconnect is when people are saying that they want to manifest something, but then they're showing up all day long, every single day, being the old version of themselves. So what ends up happening is people will say that they want to manifest the money, but then they're still showing up as a lack-based human. People say they want to manifest the soulmate partner, but they're not showing up loving themselves or taking care of themselves. People say they want to manifest success, but they're like sitting around in their pajamas not getting ready all day, and they're not like doing anything in their business, or they're not applying to get a a promotion or a higher position or anything like that. Like they're showing up, they wake up, and maybe, yeah, maybe they have a morning routine, maybe they're meditating, maybe they're consuming all of the TikToks on manifestation, maybe they're, listening to a law of assumption podcast. But throughout the day and during the day, they wake up, and if they have their morning routine, like maybe they get themselves out of like that like low irritated vibration, but it's like then they start driving to work, they take care of their kids, they look at their email and see, and see that they didn't make a lot of sales while they were sleeping, whatever it is, but they like aren't actually deciding who they're going to be. They're saying that they want something. They say that they want something to manifest, but then their habits and what they're doing and how they're showing up, like the thoughts that they're thinking, the words that they're speaking, the emotions that they're feeling, is in complete contradiction to who they're saying they're going to be and what they're saying they want to manifest. We're not going to shame anybody, but who's like, oop, you just called me out? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're like, fuck. So many hands just went up. Okay. And again, like we're not shaming or blaming, but this is like we've got to know where we're at in order to be able to change our lives. This is so me. I work at a job all day long that I despise. And so I find it hard to feel good knowing I have to go be at the job all day. That is, I'm so glad that you said that, Kara, because that's a place that so many people find themselves in. And I actually like, I I have a complete mindset shift for you there, which I'll drop in just because I feel like so many people like really go here. A lot of people will say when they're working in a job that they hate, or when they are living in a place with people that are negative, or like, if they're feel like they're stuck in an environment that isn't like conducive to this work, they're like, I feel like it's really difficult for me to really like stay in the energy. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about, one, can we turn it into gratitude for the fact that that job is paying for is affording us to be able to pay for what we need and like our the roof overhead and all of that. And two, if every moment is a lesson and every person is a teacher, then how can you actually realize that that is when you show the most up for yourself? Because it's so easy to show up and be high vibe when everyone around you is high vibe, when everyone around you is positive. But who are you being when you're in an environment that you don't necessarily love? How can you tap into love frequency then? How can you tap into gratitude then? How can you see that every experience is a teacher and a lesson? So this is just a place for you to really deepen your work and for you to really show up as the version of yourself that you desire to be, even when, and especially when you're in a situation that really doesn't feel so great for you. Because that's what I used to do. I worked for the New York State government for 8 years, and I started doing personal development work maybe like 3 years in, because I was like, dude, everybody here is fucking miserable. And everyone here either is a drug addict or an alcoholic, because like this job is so fucking miserable and what we do all day long is like awful because we're supposed to be public servants, but we're like clearly not serving the public. We're serving the government. So it was like, not only like I have a stellium in Aquarius, I'm an Aquarius sun, like I'm for the people. So it was like, it was literally draining my life force energy. But I was like, showing up in this energy every day, showing up in this mindset every day, showing up feeling like I'm so fucking defeated because I hate this place that I work and everyone around me is like an asshole and miserable. Like, and it's just like, I feel like it doesn't matter how much work I do on myself, I get in here and it's just like somebody just like takes a fork to my like happy bubble. So it was like, I realized that they're not going to change and I can't insist that they do change. Like, how am I going to change the entire fucking agency? You know what I mean? But the one thing that I could change was me. I could change my perspective. I could change my energy. So I put in this reframe where anytime I saw somebody who was super negative, who was complaining, who was bitching, who was moaning, in my head, I would say, that's who I don't want to be. That's the characteristics that I don't want to have. That's the energy that I don't want to be in. That's the mindset that I don't want to have. And instead of like judging them, like, get it together, I then started to learn how to build compassion in my heart. And so it was like, by me taking this pause and observing the people, I wasn't getting attached to the situation. I wasn't feeling like I had to engage in the conversation. I wasn't giving them my energy. And instead, I was looking at it and saying, so if I don't change and if I just keep going to this job day in and day out, then I'm going to end up like these people. So instead, I'm going to use all of these people as teachers to show me who I don't want to be. And that means that I might not know exactly who I want to be right now, but I know who I don't want to be. And here's the thing is a lot of people get caught up on like seeing everything that they don't want. It's about not focusing on what you don't want, but realize that if you don't necessarily know exactly what you want, understanding what you don't want are steps in the right direction, because then you're like, okay, well, this is what I don't want. And then it's like, well, what's the opposite of that? And that's getting you closer to what you do want. So I want you to start being able to see like how much compassion you can have in your heart, how much separation you can put from yourself in that place. Like, can you be there physically, have your feet on the ground, but have your head in space where it's like, these people aren't affecting my energy. These people are actually showing me how to have emotional intelligence. These people are teaching me how to have a high vibration and how to have a positive mindset when I'm around people that aren't contributing to it at all. And if anything, they're really like feeding the opposite. That's when you become a master of yourself. So use that as a time to really anchor in and then get clear on, what do you want to do? Do you want to work somewhere else? Do you want to start your own business? Like, what, like, is this an industry that you even want to be in? Is this like a clear indication that like you can do the work here, but like one of the things you're going to be doing is looking for another job? You know what I mean? It's like, you're never stuck. You don't have to be stuck. There's a million and one places hiring right now because so many people are creating their own businesses online that the workforce is in need of people. So it's like, you don't have to settle for anything at all. So I just want to put that out there because I know that locked in for someone. I know that right there, if you actually like apply and do what I'm saying, your life is going to change just with that alone. And I know this because this is what I fucking did. And this is also what I do when I go to family events, when I go to parties, when I go to places where it's like not a personal development seminar. It's not like a coaching thing. It's not like with my people. You know what I mean? My tribe. I still do that. I'm there and I'm not like judgy. I'm not like, I don't have my nose up like I'm better than people, because I'm not. I just have a higher perspective, and I realize that I have to hold my standard and I have to stay here, because otherwise I'm going to keep meeting these people where they're at, and then it's going to be so easy for me to engage. It's going to be so easy for me to complain. It's going to be so easy for me to show up like that old version of myself, but we're not going there anymore. So it's like, understand that in order for us to do this work, in order for us to be a master at manifesting, we're not trying to force everyone in our reality to be positive. We're not trying to force anybody in our reality to be positive. We're not trying to change anyone, because we ultimately can't do that. We can change ourselves. And if people come up to us and say, hey, like, I notice you've shifted. I notice you're showing up differently. I notice it like seems like you're happier, whatever it is. If people get curious, the people that come up to you, you can totally have an in-depth conversation with them if you feel called. But it's like, this is the work. It's not about being able to be in a high vibe when you're by yourself, but then like you can't handle driving in rush hour traffic, or you can't handle like being in the lunchroom while you're at work, whatever it is. Gaia? Ghost is downstairs sleeping, and Gaia is just like trying to get her up, so she's fucking with her. So we're gonna hope she doesn't bark much more. That's the damn game changer. Yes, feet on the ground, head in space. That is my thing. I actually was gonna get that on this arm. It was gonna be the top of my arm over here. Was gonna be that type of that in a picture form. And I had like 7 people draw it up, and they were all like the worst. And I was like, so this isn't meant to be. And that's why I ended up with Ganesh on my arm. But I've always resonated with that. And I really want you to start doing that. How can you have your feet like on the ground interacting with human people? But how can you not be allowing the vibrational frequency of other people, the energy of other people, the voices of other people, the thoughts of other people? Like, how can you not be letting them affect you? Because that's when you're there, but like you just have a completely different perspective and they can't touch you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not, that's when people aren't going to get you out of character. That's when people aren't going to get you upset. Like, cause the work's always on me. The work's always on me. Thank you so much. I'm going to really focus on gratitude and where I'm going. I love that. I love that. Let me know, because I know that that's going to be a game changer for you. Greetings, beautiful people. Hello, hello. Not every day can be a Dr. Joe retreat. Oh my God. I love you for saying that, sugar. I used to reference, like, if you've been here for a minute, I used to reference Dr. Joe Dispenza a lot, just because he understands the science and he teaches the science of how, I call it recoding your cellular DNA, but whatever terminology he uses. But it's like he shows people how they can heal themselves and how they can change their lives, and he has insane results. But then actually this year, I found somebody who was another doctor, and he was like, yeah, he does great work, but you have to realize that in order for you to like do that work, you've got to be doing it for like 8 hours a day. You've got to be dedicating like 3 days to it. You've got to be doing it with a collective of people. And so the work that he teaches you to do, yes, you can do it at home, but it's not going to have the same effect. It's not going to have the same power. And the way that he teaches you to do it has to take a long time. And so that was like such a beautiful perspective for me. And I was like, you're right. And like, no shame on Dr. Joe, but it's just like, exactly. It's not like you're going to go be a monk and you're going to be living in an ashram for the rest of your life. Maybe, but the majority of us aren't. Even look at Jay Shetty. Like, he was a monk and then he came back into civilization. And it's like, it's a lot easier to be enlightened when you are a monk and you're meditating all of the time and you're eating vegan food and you're surrounded by people that are doing that thing, and nobody's complaining and nobody's using identifications and nobody's attached. But it's like, that's not life, baby. That's not Earth School. And Earth School can actually be the most beautiful school if you just learn to shift and understand that at the end of the day, we're not in charge of anybody else. We're not in control of anybody else. And I actually now have this beautiful perspective where I can really fucking appreciate everyone in my life who does have a negative mindset, who does have a low vibrational energy, because now, one, this is one thing that I always use, is I look at people, especially if it's somebody that I had been friends with for a long time, or somebody in my family who I used to really like identify with. I used to really see a lot of myself in. Like, we shared a lot of characteristics, we shared a lot of interests. And then it's like, girls, and then it's like I started doing the work, and now like I don't even see myself in them anymore. I literally don't. Hold on, Guy's gonna keep fucking with Ghost. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. No, Ghost, you stay here. Guy, you go. I know. Sissy's being bold, huh? She being bold. But now I look at those people. Yes, I got my blanket on, you guys. Like, we are unwell, but we're showing the fuck up, okay? So I now look at those people that I used to like really, really resonate with and used to spend a lot of time with, or used to like, we had so much in common. I now look at them and like with loving awareness and with compassion, not with judgment. I look at them and I go, wow, I'm so grateful that I'm in a situation with you now, because I can see how much I've changed. I'm now using you. So this is like deep shadow work. This is not everyone is a mirror. Everyone is you pushed out. This is you looking at, you're actually a mirror for the work that I've done. I'm not going to see you as a mirror because you're showing up as somebody that I used to be, and I'm not about to play there. Like, I've done the work on me and I'm proud of that. So you're not a mirror of me, but you're a mirror of an old me. So you're actually showing me who I used to be. And that's another way that you can find compassion, when you can actually see how you used to be that way. Because a lot of the times there's like this high and mighty thing that people will play when they start doing spiritual work. And it's like, kind of like, I'm better than you energy. Like, oh, you're not doing that. Like, meh. And it's like, that doesn't help anyone, and nobody likes entitled people. So it's like not about going there, because remember, we've got to be in a heart-centered space. We can't be so mental about everything. So then you can start seeing compassion, and you're like, oh, like I get that because I used to be there. Your program takes all of that to another level for daily application. So happy to find you. Oh, I love that so much. And I love that you're in AOMU. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay. So, and if you're catching me on TikTok, just make sure that you, or YouTube, just make sure that you join at the link in my bio. It's free. And then you can interact with us in the chat. I'm not going to be reading any TikTok comments. Which I know that you guys know, because after I logged off yesterday, I answered some TikTok comments and nobody was talking. They all realized if we're showing up on TikTok, Alexa's ignoring us. Like, so I love that. Like, I always say, you guys, I set a standard and I'm not going to lower my standards. I'm going to set a standard and I'm going to model what it's like. And then you either get on board or separation and distance is created. So let's talk about some details of how, when you say that you want to manifest something, but then you're actually showing up in the opposite of it. So you say you want to manifest a successful business. You say you want to have a business, maybe. And it's like, but then you keep going to work at your 9 to 5, and you're being miserable all day long. And then you're getting so drained at the 9 to 5 that you aren't taking any action on your business. You aren't creating a product, you aren't creating a service, you aren't marketing yourself, you're not showing up. You're just like staying stuck in this cycle where you're just going to this job that you don't like. But we've talked about how we're going to change our perspective on that. And here's the thing, right? If you change your perspective on that, you now have way more energy to invest in creating the business, invest in finding a new job, invest in getting a promotion, like whatever it is for you. And it's like, that's what you would be doing if you were a successful person, right? So you say you want to manifest a soulmate person, but you're not taking care of yourself. You don't love yourself. You're beating yourself up in the mirror. You're being somebody that you wouldn't want to date. You aren't putting yourselves out there. You're obsessing over your ex. Like, that's not what somebody would do if they were in a healthy, loving relationship, right? Like, that's not how you'd be playing. That's not how you'd be showing up. Say you want to manifest the money, but then you keep feeling into the lack. You keep letting yourself get dysregulated over bills. You don't look at your bank account. You complain about money. You worry about money all day long. Let me know, like, does that land? Did I call you out on any of those three? Or like health. You say you want to manifest health, and then instead of drinking the water, eating the vegetables, exercising, getting outside, you're eating Cheetos on the couch. You're eating processed sugar. You're drinking a lot of soda. You're saying, well, in a week I'm going to start working out. I'm going to start my diet in 1 week. Let me know. Okay, a lot of hands. And here's the thing, right? The most beautiful thing, like, a lot of people's like, you don't want to be triggered. I've gone through trauma-informed coaching. So I understand what a trigger is. I understand how it manifests. And I'm not talking about a trauma trigger. So, like, use discernment, asterisk there. What I'm saying is being triggered is really fucking good, because when I trigger you, like, I would say every single client that's ever hired me, or anyone that's been in any of my programs, they're like, Alexa, I was really fucking intimidated by you at first. I'm a Taurus rising, first of all. So, like, y'all see me like a bull. And it's like, but then they're like, I was intimidated because you were calling me out on my bullshit. And like, my ego couldn't keep running its mouth because I had your voice in my head. And it was like, no, we can't go there. There's so many of my clients that are like, I have your voice in my head when I'm going throughout the day. And that's why I teach my clients to be self-led because you don't need me there all of the time. Like when you work with me, when you understand my perspective, when you understand like how cut and dry I make it, like I'm not going to entertain your bullshit. You don't hire me, you don't work with me, you don't work with a coach, you don't take a program with somebody that tells you what you want to hear when you're trying to transform your life. You hire the person, you work with the person that's making you feel uncomfortable, so much so that you get out of your comfort zone and you do something about it. So that's my potency as a mentor. I'm gonna call you out on your blind spots. We're gonna work through it. And I might be like a tough love coach, but like I'll give you all the love and support too. But once we get you out of the bullshit that you've been keeping yourself in. Because like, here's the thing. If you can't hold yourself accountable, or if you're not accountable yet, that's fine. You don't need somebody to keep you accountable for the rest of your life, but you do need to show up. Like when the trigger happens, when you feel called out, I want you to realize that that's a beautiful sign, because that means that you're fucking listening consciously, and you are now realizing an area where you've got some work to do. And that's how we clean it up, right? You hear me say cleaning up your side of the street. It doesn't matter if the neighbor across the street has the weeds and has like a grown out grass. Like if we go back to the metaphor, the gardening metaphor from day one, you're not going to go over and cut their grass, but you're sure as fuck going to make sure that your grass is cut. You're sure as fuck going to make sure that you're watering your flowers and pulling up your weeds. Like we can't control the whole damn neighborhood. We might be able to go to an HOA meeting, but we can't control them. We're controlling us. So we're cleaning up our side of the street. We are looking at our identity. We're looking at our thoughts, our actions, our words, our energy, our emotions, our reactions. Because like, let's be honest, that's enough fucking work in and of itself, right? But how much time of your life have you kind of like let yourself slip because you were focusing on somebody else? So many people do this. So many people end up there. And that's where a lot of people don't end up moving the needle forward. Bullseye, bullseye, bullseye. Yes, girl. Literally. That makes total sense. That totally makes sense. I'm like, Sid, what the fuck would Alexa say about this? Then boom, got the answer and I'm moving. Exactly. 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 And I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. So what I find is so interesting is the conversation about law of assumption and law of attraction is like, jump in. I'll jump in every conversation. I'll watch every TikTok. I'll watch every YouTube video. I'll read any book. And then where's the disconnect? The law of action. That's when people are like, I don't actually want to talk about that. Like, nah, I just want to sit and visualize and meditate all day. Can't that be it? And it's like your actions are how you're speaking and communicating to the universe and showing the universe that you're taking it seriously. There has been a study that's been shown, and it's been talked about in various books. It's talked about in Big Magic, I think is the name of the book, that like talks about it, that like one that I can think of right now. But they talk about how if like a download will actually come through to multiple people, and then if none of them take action on it, it'll go to somebody else. So it's like we're in one collective conscious. We're all plugged into the same source. But in order for you to get ahead of the curve, in order for you to come up with that $1 million idea, in order for you to do whatever it is that you want to do and manifest in your life, you've got to take action on it. And this is where a lot of people, like, this is the piece of the puzzle that a lot of people are missing. So I need you to remember that not only your thoughts, not only your energy, not only your words need to be in alignment with the manifestation before it shows up, but your embodiment, your self-concept, and your actions need to be in alignment with the version of you that you desire to be and the reality that you desire to be living in when it hasn't manifested yet. This is where so many people fuck themselves up, because they are still playing in the waiting energy. They're still saying that Ghost is puking in the background. I'm so sorry, guys. They're still saying that, like, we keep it fucking real over here. So don't use any excuse that you can't show up. I've got puking dogs and I'm sick as fuck, and here we are. So they will still stay stuck in this like wanting energy and waiting energy, where it's like, well, I really want to have the success, but it's not here yet. Well, I really want to have the health, but I'm not healthy yet. Well, I really want to have the partner, but they're not here yet. And so it's like, they're still waiting for something outside of them to change so that way they can change. And that's actually what is preventing the change, is they're not changing, so their reality isn't changing. So your habits, not only your actions, but your habits and your identity need to be in alignment with your desired reality. And you have to do this before you're living in your desired reality. You can't keep living in the matrixy thoughts that I'm going to work really hard from a place of lack, burn myself the fuck out, not take care of myself, and then in 50 years from now, I'll be able to retire happy. That's not what it's about. We are here to live our best life, to be satisfied, to be fulfilled, to love ourselves, to love the life that we're creating, to have fucking fun. Like, we are here to enjoy the process of becoming the person that we desire to be. So, if you're saying that you want to have success, you want to have either success in your business, you want to have success in your career, then you've got to start showing up today like a successful person would. That means that you've got to start thinking and feeling and moving and presenting yourself like a successful person would. So if you were someone that wanted to manifest a successful business, you would be creating a product, you'd be creating a service, you'd be marketing yourself, you'd be honing in on your skill, you'd be surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded, that are doing the things, you'd be hiring a mentor, you'd be reading a book, you'd be taking a program, you'd be applying it. You would be showing up, you'd be presenting yourself and staying in the energy of a successful person. You would be controlling your thoughts and your energy in alignment with a successful person. And what would a successful person do? A successful person wouldn't like sit in their pajamas all day long and in a fun bun and wait for the sales to roll in, wait for the clients to roll in, like wait for their TikTok or YouTube to blow up or something to go viral before they create the product, before they create the service, before they create the content. If you are somebody that wants to manifest success in your career and you work for somebody else, you wouldn't be going to work looking like a slob. You wouldn't be showing up late to meetings. You wouldn't be eating shit food because you understand that that affects your mindset now. You would be showing up to work on time. You'd be going to the meetings. You'd be volunteering for extra things. You would be taking on more roles. You'd be applying for the promotions. You'd be showing up dressed like the role you want to be in. Like there's a reason why that quote is a thing. Do you understand? Like, do you see the difference of like saying that you want to manifest success, but then still showing up and seeing yourself like an unsuccessful person? Do you also see how important it is for you to see yourself as a successful person and start being a successful person before the success arrives? Because how are you going to get the success otherwise? Do you understand how crazy it is when we actually break it down? When you challenge all of the bullshit that they have sold you in the Matrix, you will honestly laugh about it because you'll be like, how the fuck did I ever believe any of this? Like, if I actually just used my critical thinking faculties for 1 minute, this doesn't make any sense. Like, how was I going to do that? Is this starting to land with you guys? Raise your hand if this is starting to make sense. We're going to drink some cold tea and some hot tea because I can feel my voice really. Okay, amazing. Amazing. So many hands just went up. Okay. So think about that if you want to manifest love. If you want to manifest love, then how would you be showing up? You'd be showing up like a person who loved themselves. You'd be showing up like somebody who's confident and secure. You would be taking care of yourself. You'd be taking care of your space. You would be doing things. You'd be going out places. You would be putting yourself on a dating app. You would be like, you know what I mean? Like, you'd be taking action. Like, you'd be going out on dates. You'd be putting yourself on a dating app. You'd be going out to meet people places. You wouldn't be sitting home ordering Uber Eats every day and then like staying up till 3 a.m. and saying, woe is me, and like watching sad, sappy movies, wondering when the love is going to show up, like hoping that they just ring your doorbell. Like, you understand that in order for you to manifest love, you need to love yourself. You need to be in a loving, healthy relationship with yourself. So you've got to take care of yourself. You can't be like, well, I'm not going to cook dinner for myself because it's just me. What? You can't say, well, I'm not going to clean my house because nobody comes over. Like, what? Remember what we said yesterday. Would you actually be able to handle your manifestation if it came in today? If you met, I know this is a crazy story, and I think I said this in one of the previous programs, but if you met in the Manifest Love Masterclass, I'm pretty sure. But if you like were at the grocery store and you met like somebody who was like the love of your life, and then like you hit it off, you started talking, and they were like, hey, do you want to go out to dinner? And they were, and like for whatever reason happened, they decided like you went out to dinner and then you wanted to have them home. And so like you didn't make it home from the grocery store because say it's cold. So you keep everything in your car, whatever. And then you like wanted to have them over. Would you be able to invite them in, or would you be fucking embarrassed because you got dishes in the sink, because your place smells, because you haven't been taking care of anything, like you've got clothes all over? Do you know what I mean? Like you've got to be getting, like we talked about yesterday, you've got to be getting prepared for the manifestation right now. Knowing that the manifestation can come in right now if you're really fucking ready for it, if you're really embodied in the energy, if you're really embodied in the self-concept, if you're seeing yourself as the person that has the manifestation already. If you want to manifest money, you would start showing up like a person who's abundant would. And here's the thing. So many people are like, oh, so you just want me to spend money that I don't have? Get out of your lack and victim frequency. Like, you're not helping yourself. And like, I think that people think that like they're proving somebody right. Like, oh, so you just want me to go into debt? Nobody fucking said that. Nobody fucking said that. Like, I'm just going to say that because so many people like come in this like victim frequency here. Nobody fucking said that, period. A wealthy and abundant person wouldn't spend money frivolously because they actually have a healthy relationship with money. So they wouldn't just be buying shit for a quick dopamine fix. They would actually be showing up as an abundant person and a wealthy person, and they'd be investing their money well. So an abundant person would be not only all of that, but they would also be generous. They would spend money with calmness and ease. They would be reassured that money is always coming back to them. So they wouldn't be worried about circulating money when it is a good investment. They wouldn't be freaking out over a bill. They wouldn't be talking negatively about money. They wouldn't be complaining about money. They wouldn't be fearing money all day long. Do you see how, like, a lot of people say that they want something, but a lot of people aren't showing up as the version of them who has that thing? That's why I always tell you guys it's not about what you want. Because when you want something, let's be frank, you don't fucking do anything about it. You don't do anything about it. When you decide that you get to have something, you're going to do whatever the fuck it takes. Whatever the fuck it takes. And that's the camp we've got to be in. I'm going to do whatever the fuck it takes. And here's the paradox of it all. People are like, oh my God, but it takes so much work. Yeah, it's actually a lot more work to like be conscious and to be in the present moment and to have compassion and to be in love and to manifest large sum of money and to build a business. But it's like once you lock it in, once you create this as at an identity level, you're no longer trying to change behavior. So you're no longer trying to just change a mindset. You're no longer just trying to change a habit, because your identity rules all of that. Your self-concept and identity are synonymous. So it's like, that's why it's the overarching piece, because everything, your actions, your beliefs, the habits that you have, that all lives, the thoughts that you think, that all lives in your subconscious. But when you've changed your identity, you no longer identify with those unconscious traits because you've done the work to shift them. And here's the thing is, once you've done that work, now it's on autopilot. You literally get to be on autopilot making fucking money. You get to be on autopilot feeling your best. You get to be on autopilot glowing the fuck up. It is going to take some consciousness. It's going to take some dedication. It's going to take some consistency at first. But like, so what? Just like with everything, it's going to take some time to learn something new. If you don't do this, if you keep showing up like the version of you that you are right now, and I love you right now, you're perfect, but like we could do better for ourselves. We've been kind of like slacking and lowering our standards. If you keep showing up like the version of yourself right now, is your reality going to be any different this time going into 2025? If like you don't get uncomfortable, if you don't dedicate some time to this, like what are you going to do otherwise? Go complain with your friends, go drink at a bar, like binge Netflix? Like, let's be honest, there's not even any good shows on because the writers and the actors have been on strike. Like, you don't need to watch your favorite show for the 37th time. We're not trying to win an Emmy over here. You know what I mean? Or maybe you are, but like, if so, like, go out and act. You're not watching TV. So here's the thing is, you've got to realize that your identity of yourself, like how you see yourself, is affecting everything in your life. And this is the piece, is you've got to lock this in. You've got to start showing up as the version of yourself that you desire to be now. Doesn't matter that you don't have the money. Doesn't matter that you don't have the clients. Doesn't matter that you haven't gotten the promotion. Doesn't matter that you don't have the partner. It's almost going to be impossible. And you're going to have to spend a lot of time working hard if you don't change how you're being. If you don't change your habits, if you don't change that. Like, are you getting that now? Like, do you understand really today why this is the last day and how we've already covered this? We've talked about your habits. We've talked about your mindset. We've talked about your emotions. We've talked about manifesting. And we've touched on like showing up as a different version of yourself. But do you see now, like, how many of you, raise your hand if you have more clarity on like what it means to change your self concept now? It's just like who you're being every single day. Hands, hands, hands. Okay, great. So these are some questions that I want you to ask yourself. So that way you like fully, this like is fully going to anchor in for you. And this is something that I do. This is something I teach my clients to do. Like, these are questions that you can ask yourself in the moment because it's going to pull you into consciousness if you've gone unconscious. How would my most successful, loving, abundant, confident, insert whatever word that you're like looking to build into yourself, how would they show up today? Is this thought something that my most successful, loving, abundant, confident self would think? Is this action something that my most successful, loving, abundant, confident self would do? Is this feeling something my most successful, loving, abundant, confident self would feel? Is this habit something my most successful, loving, abundant, confident self would have? Do you see how when you ask these questions, like, it's like you're pulling the carpet out from underneath your ego, and your ego's like, bro, like you're not giving an inch anymore. That's exactly it. We are getting out of egoic living and we're coming into heart-centered living where we are conscious and present and we're empowered. And so it's like you have an opportunity at every single moment to exercise your free will and to show up as a different version of yourself. But are you? Because it does not matter how many fucking manifestation methods that you do if you're not showing up differently, if you're not thinking differently, if you're not feeling differently, if you're not speaking differently, if you're not seeing yourself and what's available for you in life differently. This is where so many people are like, well, I did the whisper method and I prayed into the water and I brought my crystals out and I meditated and I read this book 17 times and I da da da. And it's like, how's that going for you? How is that going for you? Because at the end of the day, if you're not getting into your unconscious through your mind, through your body, regulating your nervous system, rewiring your beliefs, feeling differently, recoding your cellular DNA, it doesn't matter if you've done 57 manifestation methods for 57 days straight. Doesn't matter. If you're not changing who you're being, the universe responds to who you are, not what you're doing. It doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are. And this is not new. This has been said from every fucking spiritual teacher. Like, they even taught it in The Secret. And The Secret is like a great like first step into law of attraction, but it literally misses so fucking much in that book that, like, if The Secret even covers this, because it was so fucking foundational and so like oversimplified without like tangible tools, like, that it actually means something if everyone is saying this. But it's like, are you actually locking it in, and are you actually changing who you're showing up as, knowing that it's who you're being? Because if you're manifesting intentionally by doing a manifestation method for 15 minutes a day, but the other 10 hours that you're awake, you're showing up as a complete different version of yourself that has thoughts that are in contrast to that, that has beliefs that are in habit to that, in contrast to that, that is taking actions that are completely contradictory to that, that has a self-identity that doesn't even identify with that, and it's the complete opposite. Like, that's when manifestation feels really fucking hard, because you're not consciously changing in the moment. You're not showing up any differently. You're spending 15 minutes a day, like, praying that this works. And that's why, fun fact, it's not working. Because the 15 minutes a day, like, yeah, it's a good start, but like, how are you integrating and applying the teachings and the embodiment and the energy and the feelings and all of the things throughout your day. Because this is the work. This is how you move the needle forward. This is how you quantum leap. Because you are now mind, body, fucking soul, a different human. And you are just giving yourself grace and you're doing what you can day by day, moment by moment to keep shifting. But you're not going to give up because that's too exhausting, because you know that you only have to keep shifting for a certain amount of time until this is just natural. But you've got to reprogram yourself. You've got to start showing up differently. And this is the piece that when people get this, they manifest easily. When people don't get this, they're the people that say, I've been trying to manifest my partner for 5 years. I've been trying to manifest a home for 2 years. I'm trying to manifest money for 5 years. It doesn't work. Manifestation doesn't work. They're universal laws. They always work. It's that you're working against the universal laws, and you've got to learn to work with them. And while we can have a lot of fun conversations about the law of attraction and the law of assumption, what I've found consistently across the collective is it's the tangible application of the laws that people are missing. And that's what today was, or that's what these 5 days were, for you to tangibly be able to take this information that you've known on a logical level and fucking do something with it. This is the thing. This is why when everyone's like, well, what book should I read? I always hesitate. And I'm like, pick a book. Pick a fucking book. There's tons of great books out there. But it's not about reading the book. It's about, are you extracting the wisdom out of it? And are you applying it? Because if you're not applying it, it's just like, you might as well be watching TV. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not applying the work, that's when you're going to feel really frustrated and disappointed. And if you just start taking your life seriously and taking your manifestation seriously and realizing that this moment right here, baby, is the only moment, and not just like being like, oh yeah, well, the only moment's now. Like, no, like, what are you doing in this moment? How are you showing up in this moment? Are you showing up any differently than you were showing up 3 months from now? Because this is the thing. Like, I want you to be really fucking honest in the comments. Like, drop it if you feel called. But were you somebody that was like, Jesus, this is exactly what I was missing. Like, I was doing all of the things. I was learning law of assumption. I was learning law of attraction. I was doing the manifestation method. But like, if I actually be completely honest with myself, you can raise your hand if you don't want to drop it in the comments, but raise your hand if you're like, but if I'm actually being honest with myself, like now having this conversation, I didn't actually change. Like, I wasn't showing up any differently. I might have been like spending more time trying to manifest, but I wasn't actually showing up any differently. So many hands. This is it. Like, this is the missing piece of the puzzle. Thank you for showing up this week, even when you were manifesting health. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for showing up this week. That is being an example. I get it now. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. I'm so happy. And that's the thing. That's why I said day one, like, let me just show you and model that, like, don't even let being extremely sick. Like, I'm literally so sick still, like, even though I'm manifesting health, that my sister, I won't get into her health issues, but she's pregnant. So like, I'm literally in New York to be able to spend the holidays with my family, and I probably won't even spend the holidays with my family. I'm not letting that trip me up. I'm still here every single day with you guys, showing up, not talking to a lot of other people because I have to save my voice. But like, let this just be an example. Like, this is why I always say I model for you guys. Don't use anything as an excuse, because it's so fucking easy to tap out. But when you prove to yourself that you can show up for yourself, that you're dedicated no matter what, no matter what, no matter what, this is when the universe goes, oh, she's not fucking around anymore. She not fucking around anymore. For the past 5 years, she been reading them books. She been, saying those affirmations in the mirror, but she wasn't really changing. I don't know what happened to her. I do not know what happened to her in the last 5 days, but that girl, she no fucking joke. Watch out. Like, we better move quickly in her direction, because she's going so fast that like her reality has to change. She's no longer available for that bullshit anymore. She's calling herself out on the bullshit. She's not even entertaining it anymore. This is where you've got to get to. This is the work. This is how you change quickly. And this is why, like, sometimes you might be like, Jesus, Alexa, will you maybe like be a little fluffy for a moment? I know we said we weren't going to go into fluff, but could we like do some fluff? Because like, you're giving me a lot of stuff. And I now feel like there's things that I have to do. That's exactly it. Because how many of you have like been like, okay, manifestation, but I don't actually know how to manifest. Okay, personal growth, spiritual ascension, but I actually know how to do it. Like I see people doing it and I feel called to do it, but the healing work, all things, but I don't know how to. Like I don't know how. I'm not that coach that's gonna like be like, just figure it out. No, I'm gonna tell you how to fucking do it. You might find a better way, but at least you've got some steps. At least you know like how it can work for somebody. If something isn't landing for you, if something works better and you've come up with your own process, fucking amazing. Now you know how to do it in your own life. But it's like you gotta start somewhere and you've got to have tangible tools. We can't keep making law of attraction, law of assumption, personal development. We can't keep making it so ethereal and so fluffy that people don't have the steps. Like they don't have the information. They don't have how to actually apply it to their life because you need to be able to apply it in your life. If you can't apply it in your life, it's almost like, then what are we doing? Like, if we can't learn this and apply it, then like, are we almost like wasting our time? Kind of. Because then we get so frustrated because now we're more consciously aware of like, and logically aware of like how to do the things, but we still don't know how to do them. And then it's like, ugh. Excuse me. Does self-concept mean that depression and anxiety aren't clinical diseases and we can take control and change our lives and take control and feel happier? We cover this in day 2. In day 2, no, yeah, day 2 when I talk about emotions. So make sure you watch day 2. I feel like you didn't with that question. But if you did watch day 2, then make sure to go back and watch it because I need you to be more conscious when you're watching that one. So, I am not telling you that depression and anxiety don't exist. Like I said, I used to be clinically depressed. I used to have the worst diagnosed panic disorders you could take. I used to be on, they prescribed me the most amount of anxiety medicine that they could prescribe a human. Like literally a 300-pound man who's 6'5". They prescribed the same medicine. At that time, I'm 5'4" and I'm 115 pounds. I was like 110 pounds then. I like one time went to the doctors and they literally said that I had overdosed on my medicine when I had just taken the amount that they like had prescribed. I fully understand that depression feels real. I fully understand that anxiety feels real. I've already talked about this. I've already talked about how to not feel depressed and how to not feel anxious and how interwoven it is with your diet, with your habits, with your mental diet, with how you're seeing yourself, how you're feeling about yourself. So I'm not going to be the person that tells you to completely stop taking your medicine and like just pretend like everything's gravy. No, we talked about not spiritually bypassing. We talked about feeling your emotions. We talked about how to combat anxiety. We talked about how to combat depression. So we're not spiritually bypassing. We're not like putting ourselves in a dangerous situation. If you're on medicine, like you've got to wean yourself off. If you're going through a therapist, you should probably keep talking to your therapist. Though I would argue there's way better modalities that I would be using that are way more effective because talk therapy is really not that effective. It's actually more traumatic than anything. So, no, we're not saying that depression and anxiety aren't clinical diseases. They are. And we are saying that you can absolutely 100% standing here right before your eyes as proof, control them, change them. And I would argue that changing your diet, changing your habits, and changing what you're drinking and changing what you're focusing on, like what you're mentally feeding yourself and consuming all day long, you would find out that the majority of your depression and anxiety came from not getting enough fucking sleep, eating shitty foods, and watching terrible things. Like, so go back to day 2. Go back to day 2. I appreciate your directness and transparency. You cut right through the bullshit. Love it. Like, you're like, shit or get off the pot. I am. Because here's the thing is like, I'm not going to be one of those people that like sees you at your highest, like shining your brightest, like as your highest self, and then going to keep meeting you as like your victim self. No, like we're not going there. I don't allow you to play a victim in my world. Like you showed up for this, you want to change your life, so let's fucking do it. And here's how. Here's the information you need. Yes, I'll answer your questions. but let's not like let our ego come out and ask a question that I've already fucking gone over because you're trying to you know what I mean? Like, because you're trying to feel like, oh, well, I don't, this doesn't apply to me because. No, I don't give a fuck what your excuse is. I don't care if you say you have ADHD. I don't care if you say you've got this or that or that. Stop identifying with the disease and let's do something about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on now. I hold you guys to way higher standards than you hold yourself. So instead of continuing to allow yourself to drop the ball, pick it the fuck back up. Because the coach is over here and she's gonna keep throwing it at you and she's gonna keep putting you in. So you better tie your shoes and start playing the game. Exactly. Yes, yes, yes. Clap, clap, clap. I love that you get it. I love that you get it. And here's the thing is like, that's why I'm not for everyone. I don't coach everyone. I don't teach everyone. If I am a New Yorker through and through, I am a Taurus rising. I am an Aquarius stellium. Like, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not here to waste your time. I'm not here to just take your money and like give you bullshit. I'm here to like, I'll change your fucking life. I will help you change your life, but I can only lead a horse to water. You got to be the one that drinks. So it's like, if you come in my world, you are here because you were ready to get shaken the fuck up. Because I don't let you like when you get in my world, you might be like, oh fuck, like you might have to recalibrate after a minute, but you're no longer gonna play at this low frequency anymore. You're no longer gonna play the victim. You're no longer gonna go there because you're gonna be like, Alexa told me how to not do this. So like this is a conscious choice now. If I keep showing up like this is a conscious choice. But like I now have the tools, I now have the information. Like I know when to call myself out now. I don't even need Alexa to do it because she put me through the ringer in like the most loving way, but like this is how we change our lives. I want you to think about like Tony Robbins, like if you've ever like seen Tony Robbins or gone to his events, I have, or like if you've watched like his documentary, it's on Netflix. Encourage you watch it if you haven't. But there are like sometimes people be like, well, I really wanted him to be nice to me. And he was like, boo, 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 boo. Like, I'ma just drop a few one-liners on you and kind of be like, but it's like you need somebody to do that, right? Like, would you actually change if he told you what you wanted to hear? No. And I call Tony Robbins the GOAT of personal development because he is. Before that, it was like seminars that were like in this weird hotel room. Like, and I mean, if you've ever gone to a Tony Robbins event, it is not for the fucking faint of heart. Like, I genuinely think that you need to like change your workout routine for the first 3 months before going into it because like he's all about changing your physiology. And I would argue that like one day they'll be like, Alexa's like the female Tony Robbins. I'm way more fucking spiritual about it. And I'm not going to do like the whole event the way he does, like 8 hours a day. I am a manifesting generator, so I could, but I don't think that that serves us. Cause again, we're putting ourselves in an isolated bubble and then we're not actually applying it. And that's where a lot of people go wrong is they don't apply it. That's why you guys always hear me say, like, I love Abraham Hicks, but I barely listen to Abraham Hicks unless it's just like a rampage. I listen to Bashar now because Bashar doesn't, like, he interrupts people when they start going into the victim. Like, how many times have you heard this question over and over again, but you feel like it's applicable to you because you're just like not doing it. You're not doing anything with it. And it's like, we have enough people out there that are telling you what you want to hear. I don't agree that everybody gets a trophy. You got to work for it. You got to work for it. But everybody could get a trophy if they work for it. So that's my that's my perspective, and it might be too harsh for you, and that's fine. I appreciate you showing up, but I also might be exactly what you need to hear. And I would say that you're probably in that boat if you're here because I keep it like this is how I am on TikTok. I'm not like love and light. I delve deep in shadow work, baby. That's why I have a psyche manifestation method. Like we go into the depths of your abyss. I'll shine the light for you. I'll shine the light all day long. But we ain't gonna pretend those monsters aren't there. One-on-one, no longer playing the victim. Yes, yes, yes. Laughing. I love that. I love that. All right, you guys. So that is. Oh, you were gonna let me go without giving me the 5 steps. I got too wrapped up. All right, so let's go over the 5 steps. If you have any questions at this point, feel free to ask them. Because after the 5 steps, we're gonna be wrapping up. So 5 steps to self-concept. And again, I'm going to keep it like yesterday. Notice days 1 through 3, I gave you 5 steps, and I gave you like, if you're in the program and you saw the homework, like I gave you some seeds to really like work with it and to marinate it. Like I gave you I tossed the ball to you, I helped you out a little bit. I gave you an assist. No. 4 and 5, we're doing the damn thing. So understand that the reason why we're doing the damn thing is because you already have all the questions, all the steps that you need to know, like the work that you got to do, the inner work. You already know how 1 through 3, like you've got the 5 steps there. You know how to do it. So 4 and 5, like this is how you're fucking manifesting. This is how you're changing your self concept. You got a question on 1 through 5 in days 4 and 5. Go back to day 1, 2, or 3. You see how that all works with me? So step 1, decide who you are. Decide who you are, not who you're going to be. Who are you? Who the fuck are you? 2, align your habits with this person. I put that as number 2 because that's a step where most of y'all haven't done. You're going to do it now. I have faith that you're going to do it now. But this is the step. We're not sleeping on this because everyone goes to thoughts and emotions. No, we're putting that after. Change your fucking habits. Change your habits to show up as this person now. Align your thoughts with this person. 4, that was 3. 4, align your emotions with this person. 5, take action like this person. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. That is how you're going to change your self-concept. If you have questions on habits, you're going to go back to day 3. If you got questions on or actions, you're going to go back to day 3. If you got questions on thoughts, you're going to go back to day 1. You got questions on emotions, you're going to go back to day 1. I gave you a 5-step process. We already know how to do this. So it's about now actually doing it. And not just doing it once in a while. It's about consistently doing it, habitually doing it, identifying differently. So that way it just becomes who we are. You are now building the person that you are consciously deciding to be. So who is that? Who is that? All right. So let me know, like, how are you feeling after these 5 days? Like, how are you feeling? Are you like, this is exactly what I needed? I'm so grateful that I was here. Like, this was the kick in the ass that I needed. This was like the energy infusion that I needed. This was the momentum that I was missing. This is like the activation. This is the application that I really needed. Like, after these 5 days together, are you like, oh my God, like I barely even recognize myself. Like this was the thing. Like Alexa spilled the tea. Spilled the tea. Yeah, I needed to be called out. Haha. I love that. Exactly. And that's the thing. Like I'm calling you out with love, but if I don't call you out, you're not going to call yourself out because it's unconscious most of the time. So I'm so grateful that I was able to call you out because now you're going to be able to shift and now you're going to be able to shift quickly. So you guys will have access to all of the replays and the homework until 1/1. After 1/1, this is going, it might be 12/31, but whatever. 1/1, 12/31. After on 1/1, that's when the access will go away. And then after that, this will live in my membership, AOMU. And Alchemy of Manifestation University is my membership where I have all of my programs. So all of my programs where I teach you how to do the in-depth work, where I teach you how to do the healing work, where I teach you how to do the inner child healing, where I teach you how to do the mindset work, where I teach you how to really do all of the inner work and not just teach you how, but I also give you the tools. I give you the hypnosis. I give you the guided meditations. I give you the EFT tapping. And there's going to be way more EFT tapping videos coming in. I give you the nervous system regulation tools. I give you all of the information that you know that you need to know. And I give you the tools to rewire your mind, to regulate your nervous system, and to recode your cellular DNA, because those are the 3 steps and the 3 pillars within my psyche manifestation method, because I teach mind, body, soul manifesting. It isn't just about your mindset. It isn't just about the energetics. It isn't just about the law of assumption. It isn't just about self-concept. There's nuance and there's layers, but those are the 3 things that when you do them, you are able to easily show up as the version of you who manifests all of your desires, because you've done the work to build that person out. And you understand that in order to do this, in order to apply it, you've got to actually have the steps. You've got to actually be showing up consistently. You've got to actually be doing the work. And the one thing that I found on my journey that made it a little lonely was that I didn't have anyone to connect with. And I didn't have like a coach or a mentor to ask these questions with, because it was either you did a group coaching program that was like $5,000 for 3 weeks, or you got to ask questions with the mentor, or it was like you bought a $2,000 program and you did it by yourself. And so it was like both of them, like it just didn't work for me. It just felt like we were like really not serving the collective. So in this, you're going to get access to, I think, 25 programs now, from everything from healing work, personal development, mindset, quantum physics, manifestation, universal laws, human design, love, money, all of the things, self-concept, like everything. You're going to get programs on all of that, and plus business as well, because a lot of times you do this work and you realize you don't want to work for somebody else anymore. So there's business as well. And then I end up adding programs throughout the year. So anytime I come up with a new program, it goes right into the membership. You not only get access to all of these to work through on your own, so you can really dive into the areas that you feel like you need to really anchor into or spend more time with, like you get to do the work. And then there is a community where you get to connect, where you get to tell people your breakthroughs, where you get to celebrate your manifestations, where you get to celebrate your wins. We have a book Q&A. Like we have a place for you to connect, so that way you can connect with others. And then we meet once a month and we have a group coaching call where we talk about all of the things. You guys get to ask me any question about manifestation, about personal development, about anything. If you've been ever on my TikTok lives, like there's no question that no stone we leave unturned. I'll answer any of the questions. That's why I teach holistically, because all of it matters and it all compounds together. And if you can't make it live for the coaching, you get access to the replay. So if you haven't already seen, I've given you guys a discount code, a promo code that you can use to get into AOMU. And there's 3 options. You either pay monthly, you either pay once a year, or you can pay lifetime access and you'll get lifetime access. So depending on which one fits you best, there is a promo code for you, which is in the program and it is in the email that I send out with the replay every day. If you are catching me on TikTok, just make sure you sign up for the program. It's free, because until you sign up for the program, you won't have the promo code. It's only available for people that have signed up for this free event. If you're on YouTube catching the replay too, click on the link in the bio. And so if you're somebody that just wants to join at the lowest price point, which is the monthly payment option, and be in my world for a year to keep building this momentum, to have people to connect with, to have people support you on this journey, because like I have a bunch of badass humans in my world, then if you use the code for the monthly, you will get in for $33 this month, and then it's only $44 a month after that. So literally, like, this is the lowest price point you'll ever get to get into anything like this. The fact that you get coaching calls on top of this and the community and all of the programs is fucking insane. The majority of the time, coaches at my level charge you over $1,000 a month just to be in this. So the fact that like I've taken like $1,000 off of the payment so that more people can be in this, don't sleep on this. Don't sleep on this. Keep this momentum building. Have a space where you can plug into, where you can be held accountable for doing this work, for actually changing, for actually showing up for yourself, and really make sure that you don't drop the ball. Because I'm telling you, if you anchor in and do this work for a year, your entire life will fucking change, because you will no longer even recognize the person you were a year from now. If these 5 days were activating for you and you feel like you changed after these 5 days, just imagine what you will feel like being in my world for 1 year. Because like, it's fucking epic. Like, I want to insert the rocket emoji. Boo, 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 boo. We gotta be going places. We gotta be going places. So I'm so grateful, like so grateful for all of you for being here. Thank you so much for dedicating this time to yourself. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for dealing with me being a snotty mess and being a dog mom and all of the things. I love you guys so much. I'm so grateful that you're in my community. I'm so proud of you. Like, even if this is the last time we hang out together, or you just catch me on like a TikTok live, like, I love you guys, and I'm so grateful that you are here, and I'm so grateful that you plugged in and did this work, and I'm so fucking excited to see what you're going to manifest and the person you're going to become. So grateful I follow you on TikTok. My energy manifested My energy manifested you while scrolling. I love that. This was then the perfect start for a new year. I appreciate you so much. You are the go. Oh my God, thank you. I love that. I love that. P.S. I will be connecting soon within the community. Oh my God, yay! Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to see you. Thank you, precious Alexa Ray. Oh, I love you so much, Sid. I love you so much. Thank you guys so much. I will send you the replay in about an hour. You will have access to the homework until then. And I've actually decided I'm going to extend the promo codes until the videos expire. So the promo codes were going to expire tomorrow, and they're going to now expire on 1/1. So you can plug in until 1/1, and the promo codes will be available 1/1. But the day that you lose access to these videos is the day that the promo codes are going to expire. So save yourself some money and let this be your gift to yourself, because you are your biggest return on investment. And I hope to see you guys within the membership. And if not, I will see you soon. Thank you so much. Love. Looking forward to next year. Yay. I'm so excited to have the best fucking holiday season, you guys. And 2024 is going to be best year yet. Just make the declaration now. Best year yet. Best fucking year yet. Okay. Have the most amazing day. Have the most amazing weekend, and talk with you guys soon. Bye.